So I hope you can see this setup. I've tried to lay everything out into like a hole, a made-up hole that you could make any length. You want to give it definition, and of course we want to teach the kids about what is golf, and that's to. I didn't bring my little cones, those little cut-off cones that you can use for markers, but we would use those for tee markers here in this hole. And we've taken this cord, which you can get at Home Depot, which is really great stuff. We've used this for like 3 or 4 years, and it's very durable. It comes where you can roll it up in a on one of the units here, you know, and then you can just unravel it. And what we do is we use this for all kinds of games for definition. Also laying out this hole, you can see I've taken the rope and made it down all the way on both sides. So we start out and we show this is the starting point. You'd have your cones here. You start between the cones, and then you play up down the fairway. We talk about what is a golf course. This is the fairway. This is the grass that goes between the starting point and the hole. We define up there, you can see we've taken the green rope and made a circle around, and we say this is the green. When you're into the green, you putt. When you start back here, you drive. And then we have in the middle is our hole, which is a stand-up, that's a clothing box, or we can use these buckets that you can get at the Home Depot at the dollar store for $1. And these are really great too because they have little handles, they stack up on each other. The other great thing about these is you can turn them over and the little kids can use them for seats. So just for $1 you can buy these. The great thing is they, like I said, they stack up on each other, and so you've got a great way to just store them without taking up a lot of space. So this is kind of the basic setup for a hole, and we can, as you can see up there, we've taken a blue rope and made a water hazard. Over to the right there, we've taken yellow rope and made a sand trap. So you can see up here, I'll bring it up a little closer. You can see now how I've done that. I've taken the blue rope and the yellow rope, and then there's our box, and that's our hole. So we can play into those with any different ways. And I've taken a lot of this information from a lot of the top golf teachers that are working with the little kids. And the way I think we start them out is we want to start them out with air golf, and you know, with your air golf flyer, and just having them play the hole. So they would tee up between the markers here. Another thing that I've developed is you can see down here is I've got these little feet that we can use for their to put their feet on. So we would put those between there. These we can punch out of plastic. Those are some I made. I found those online. They're inner soles for little kids. But what you want to do is you want to have them put their feet on there, and then you can have them throw the ball, or you can have them hit the ball off of the tee. If you're going to go to short golf, we have those two different markers. We have the snag ones, and then we have these that Kelly and I are hoping that we can make up, which work just as well, and they're a little easier to use. I have about 1,000 of these snag ones left, so we can use those this summer, and so it's not going to cost us a whole lot of money just to use those to get started until we decide on what we're going to actually use in the program long term. So I want to put this back here, and then I'm going to start here showing you a few different things we do with the air golf. We start them out just taking the ball, putting their feet on the thing, throwing it, and just throwing it, and then when they get up there, they just throw it in the hole. And so you want to have them always think about, well, in golf, it's the least number of strokes or the least number of throws to get in the bucket is the winner. So we want to teach them about the game of golf first. It's the least number, it's not the most strokes that counts in golf. So then the second level on this, which I have in a lot of my instructions, is then we want to have them take it with one arm and swing it back and forth and throw it. And then ultimately want to go to two hands back and forth and then throw it, and then when they get up closer, we want to have them swing back and forth in front, and this would be a putt or a chip. So you can see that we've got lots of different games they can do with this. There can be all kinds of modifications with their golf. They can play it on one leg, they can play it with on their knees, lots of different ways of doing it with the 3 variations. So that would be air golf. We'd start them out playing there. Now we can use the same hole, the same setup with a lot of the young teachers. They will take this is a special ball that's made up, and it has a balloon in it. So it comes with a little cloth thing and then you blow the balloon up, and it's just a great little ball to play with. And what a lot of the teachers do is they take pool tubes, they'll cut this in half for the little kids, and then they'll set up at their spot here, and then they play, and they hit it. And then in that situation, what we would do is take one of those, one of the nets like this, or like I said earlier, we want to buy a couple of the little soccer pop-up nets. They're 4 feet around, and they're very cheap. You can buy 2 of them for like $50. So we would use those as a hole where they can roll the ball into that. You always want to play and continue to lay out a course so that they're feeling what golf is. It's getting a ball into a hole, into a target in the least number of strokes. So we could use this pool tube or that. Some of the teachers will use, you can buy these little brooms at Home Depot for a couple bucks. And then they may use a soccer ball to have the kids hit it and play it up. And you could play it into that little soccer goal. That's just another game that can be done using a club and a ball to a hole on a course, keeping score. When we go to short golf, then we're going to substitute this sticky target up there for the hole, and of course then we'll play with our club, our putter, and roll it on up. And I suggest that we start with this rather than having them start with a regular club. The other thing I think we need to do is we want to stay away from this crazy language that short golf put in there, like stickers and hitters, and let's just call them a club. Let's call this a putter. Let's call the club a club. Let's talk about a hole. Let's talk about a fairway. Talk about different shots in golf terminology so that we don't confuse the kids. What I'm working on now is just some basic instructional continuity to instructing the kids. What I like to do is have them think about being a duck with their feet flat. I want them to stick their duck's tail feathers out and wiggle them a little bit. I have them hold their arms down like an elephant trunk and swing back and forth. And we'll come out with some other, fun animal things that they can do. We'll be getting these from some of the top teachers. I know Kate says, take the little birdie and put him up in the nest. We could come up with our own little fun teaching techniques for the kids with word pictures and analogies to other sports. Another thing you could do when you're playing out your hole, if you wanted to use the net over there and put it out, then you could use your tennis racket, and the kids could play down the hole and put it into the net over there. That could also be substituted up there for the hole as well when they're starting out, if you wanted to make it a little bit bigger hole. So you could see that there's a lot of different multiple ways of creating games by keeping this simple setup. And of course the great thing about this is it can be done indoors as well. This rope works really good indoors. The buckets, the pop-up box works great, and everything can work indoors as well as outdoors. That's the beauty of this. Some of these tools that we're using right here.